Hola, muchachos! Just wanted to say that I'm raising loud kids. And by that I mean that I want my girls to be loud, my two daughters. Because when I was a kid, I was so afraid about expressing myself, really. And not even when I was a kid, like even now, even here in Australia, I was very worried about what other people could think about, the way I speak. Maybe you can understand me now, but not every day I speak like this. It probably is easier for me to talk in front of the camera than actually talk in front of people that I'm meeting. Sometimes I think too much about what I wanna say. But in the last few, it was like a few months ago, I was listening to this guy talking about certain topics, and he started saying, like, just when you're talking to someone, just play with your words. Play with your words. Stop thinking about how are you gonna come across, or stop thinking about, like, oh, what's the end goal of this conversation. Like I was saying more about, like, have fun with the process of having a conversation. Just like every single word that you're gonna say, just play with it. So I started doing that, and when I started doing that, it reminded me of singing. Singing for me, it is very easy. Not always in front of people. When I'm actually performing live, I struggle for the first 2 to 3 songs. It takes me a while to warm up and to sing confidently. But when I realized that I had all these issues about being worried too much, or lack of confidence in talking, or lack of confidence in expressing myself, I said like, this is something that I have to teach my kids. I don't want them to go through the same thing that I'm going through, and which is fine. It's not like I'm struggling. It's so hard to think about this thing. Like, I understand that it's a mindset problem. I understand that all of us, we have this little voice in our head that kind of like says to us, it's like, you're not good enough. You are doing a shit job, like very, very bad job at this moment in front of that of that person. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's always this thing, like this little voice in our head. So, and I'm also aware that voice in our head is not us. It is something else. It is fear. It is our ego. It is this collection of ideas, not collection of thoughts that we have grasped from our past, and we're just bringing it into and these concerns and worries and fears. We're constantly bringing them in our present. So when we are presenting with certain events like that, like speaking with just someone random, or singing in front of people, or an interview for a new job, we always have this little voice like, you might fucked up. So I know that, and I know that that's what I'm gonna teach my kids. But I also know that you can't stop that voice in that moment when you're having those doubts in front of people. What you can do is use certain techniques, like, for example, the play with your words technique, because you start focusing more in the present. So So I actually encourage them, especially Eva, who is the oldest one, to sing in front of people. Or if I'm going to a shopping center and there's music playing, I will dance. I will make a fool out of me, so she understands that you don't have to worry about those things. Maybe when I was a kid, and if I was dancing in a certain public place, probably my parents will go like, "Oh no, this is a public place. You don't do that." But I don't want my kids to grow up like that. I want them to express themselves fully. In fact, every day when we go when I drop her off, Eva, at kindergarten, she always says like, "Oh, Daddy, let's go for a race. Let's have a race." And then she starts running in front of me. I let her. Obviously, she always wins. And when she wins, I remember when we started doing that, she went like, "Oh, I win." But now, and I said like, no, just go up, open yourself, like say it proudly. I win. And she does that now, which is great. And sing. I always ask her to sing songs to me. I always ask her to tell me stories too. So if she turns out to be very loud, it is because of me. So you're welcome.